Freedom from desire is all about releasing ourselves of our longing and wanting for material possessions, status, and outcomes that we cannot control or guarantee. It's about focusing on the present moment and the things that can be changed. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, and it's easy to get caught up in the superficial aspects of life. From social media to advertising, we are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us what we should want and need. However, there is a way to find freedom from these superficial desires. Embracing Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes self-control, rationality, and a focus on the present moment, can help us transcend these desires and lead a more fulfilling life. Let's explore the principles of Stoicism, how they can help us find freedom, and how we can apply them to our daily lives. Superficial desires and their limitations. Superficial desires are often fleeting and based on external factors such as material possessions, social status, or the approval of others. They are driven by the belief that acquiring these things will bring us happiness and contentment. However, Stoicism teaches us that true happiness and fulfillment come from within and cannot be found in the external world. By understanding the limitations of superficial desires, we can free ourselves from their grasp and focus on what truly matters. Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus to cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, and self-discipline, which are everlasting and within our control. When we recognize that superficial desires are transient and ultimately unsatisfying, we can begin to detach ourselves from the constant pursuit of material possessions and societal approval. Instead, we can find contentment in the present moment and appreciate the simple pleasures that life has to offer. Material possessions and external validation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophical school of thought, offers a unique perspective on material possessions and external validation. According to the Stoics, true freedom lies in detaching ourselves from the pursuit of worldly possessions and the need for validation from others. In a society that often equates success and happiness with material wealth and external recognition, embracing Stoicism can be a powerful tool to transcend these superficial desires. The Stoics believe that relying on external factors for our happiness and sense of self-worth only leads to dissatisfaction and a perpetual cycle of craving more. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on cultivating inner virtues and personal growth. It encourages us to find contentment in the present moment and to detach ourselves from the attachments and desires that can hold us back. From a Stoic perspective, material possessions are seen as indifferent, neither inherently good nor bad. They are viewed as external to our true selves and should not be the source of our happiness or identity. Stoicism reminds us that our worth as individuals is not determined by what we own or how others perceive us. By adopting this mindset, we can free ourselves from the constant need for validation and the never-ending pursuit of material wealth. We can find a deeper sense of contentment and fulfillment by focusing on developing our character, practicing virtue, and embracing the present moment. In a world that places great emphasis on external measures of success, embracing Stoicism can be a liberating philosophy. It encourages us to shift our focus from the superficial desires that often leave us feeling empty and dissatisfied to a more meaningful and fulfilling way of living. By embracing the Stoic perspective on material possessions and external validation, we can find true freedom and inner peace, inner virtues, and focusing on what is within our control. Embracing inner virtues and focusing on what is within our control is a fundamental aspect of practicing Stoicism. In a world filled with constant distractions and external pressures, it can be easy to lose sight of what truly matters and get caught up in superficial desires. Stoicism teaches us the power of cultivating our inner virtues, such as wisdom, courage, resilience, and self-discipline. By prioritizing these virtues, we shift our focus from external circumstances to our internal state of being. We recognize that true fulfillment and freedom come from within, not from the accumulation of material possessions or the approval of others. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is the concept of the dichotomy of control. According to this principle, there are things that are within our control and things that are outside of our control. We cannot control external events, other people's actions, or even our own physical bodies to a certain extent. However, we have complete control over our thoughts, attitudes, and choices. By embracing this philosophy, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that often arise from trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead, we focus our energy on cultivating virtues and making choices that align with our values. We learn to let go of attachments to outcomes and accept whatever comes our way with equanimity. Practicing Stoicism allows us to transcend the superficial desires that society often promotes. We no longer seek happiness and fulfillment in material possessions or the pursuit of external validation. Instead, we find true freedom by nourishing our inner virtues, embracing the present moment, and focusing on what is within our control. In doing so, we discover a profound sense of inner peace and contentment that cannot be shaken by fleeting external circumstances. Emotional self-mastery through Stoic principles. Developing resilience and emotional self-mastery are crucial aspects of embracing Stoic principles. In a world filled with constant distractions and superficial desires, practicing Stoicism can provide us with a solid foundation to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is the recognition that we have control over our own thoughts and emotions. By cultivating an inner resilience, we can remain unaffected by external circumstances that are beyond our control. Stoics believe that true freedom lies in our ability to exercise this control and detach ourselves from the whims of fleeting desires. To develop emotional self-mastery, Stoic practitioners often engage in practices such as negative visualization and premeditation of adversity. By envisioning worst-case scenarios and mentally preparing ourselves for potential hardships, we can build resilience and strengthen our ability to face challenges head-on. This practice helps us develop a realistic perspective and enables us to respond to difficulties with a calm and rational mindset. Additionally, Stoicism encourages the practice of self-reflection and introspection. By examining our own thoughts and emotions, we can identify areas where we may be influenced by superficial desires or external pressures. This self-awareness allows us to consciously align our actions and choices with our true values and principles, rather than being swayed by societal expectations or materialistic pursuits. Embracing Stoic principles empowers us to transcend superficial desires and focus on what truly matters in life. It enables us to cultivate inner peace, resilience, and a sense of purpose that goes beyond fleeting materialistic pursuits. By developing emotional self-mastery and embracing the wisdom of Stoicism, we can find true freedom and fulfillment in our lives. Transcend societal pressures and expectations. It can be challenging to resist the constant barrage of societal pressures and expectations. The desire for material possessions, social status, and external validation often consumes our thoughts and actions, leaving us feeling trapped in a never-ending cycle of superficial desires. However, by embracing Stoic principles, we can find a sense of freedom and transcend these societal pressures. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy founded by the likes of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, offers valuable insights and practical guidance on how to navigate the complexities of modern life with a clear and focused mind. One of the key principles of Stoicism is understanding the difference between what is within our control and what is not. By recognizing that external circumstances and the opinions of others are beyond our control, we can shift our focus to what truly matters, our own thoughts, actions, and values. This shift in perspective allows us to detach ourselves from the constant need for validation and approval from others. Instead, we can cultivate an inner sense of contentment and fulfillment, grounded in our own values and principles. We no longer feel the need to conform to societal expectations or chase after superficial desires, as we understand that true happiness lies within ourselves. Stoicism also teaches us the importance of accepting and embracing the present moment, regardless of its challenges or discomforts. By practicing mindfulness and gratitude, we can find beauty and meaning in even the most mundane aspects of life. This helps us to let go of our attachment to material possessions and external achievements, as we realize that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external sources. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages of consumerism and the pursuit of external success, applying Stoic principles can provide a much-needed antidote. By transcending superficial desires and focusing on what truly matters, we can find a sense of freedom, contentment, and inner peace that is immune to the pressures of society. Embracing Stoicism is not about renouncing the joys of life, but rather about finding a more meaningful and fulfilling path to happiness. The pursuit of wisdom and virtue. Stoicism encourages individuals to focus on cultivating wisdom and virtue as the ultimate sources of fulfillment. Rather than seeking happiness in external possessions or fleeting pleasures, Stoics believe that true contentment comes from within. The pursuit of wisdom involves developing a deep understanding of oneself and the world around us. It requires introspection, reflection, and a commitment to lifelong learning. By constantly seeking knowledge and expanding our intellectual horizons, we can gain insight into the nature of reality and our place in it. This pursuit of wisdom allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and resilience. Virtue, according to Stoicism, is the cornerstone of a fulfilling life. It encompasses qualities such as integrity, kindness, courage, and justice. By aligning our actions with these moral principles, we can lead a life of purpose and meaning. Cultivating virtue requires constant self-examination and a commitment to personal growth. It involves making conscious choices that are in line with our values and contribute to the well-being of ourselves and others. By prioritizing wisdom and virtue over material possessions and superficial desires, we can liberate ourselves from the endless cycle of consumerism and external validation. Instead of constantly chasing the next big thing, we can find contentment in the present moment and appreciate the simple joys of life. We can develop a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances, but is rooted in our own character and values. In a world driven by materialistic pursuits and external validations, embracing Stoicism can be a powerful tool to find true freedom and inner peace. By focusing on what truly matters and detaching ourselves from superficial desires, we can cultivate a sense of contentment and live a more fulfilling life. Remember, it's not about denying ourselves pleasure, but rather finding a balance and prioritizing what truly brings us lasting happiness. As you embark on this journey, may you find the strength and wisdom to embrace Stoicism and experience the profound transformation it can bring to your life.